Good morning, students. My dear students, myself Virender PGT Geography, Kendriya Vidyalaya, Faridkot, Kent. Today we are going to discuss on the topic human settlements. First of all, we must know that what is a human settlements. There are two words given: human and settlements. Human means man, and settlements means the residence where the people are alive. It means that the human settlements are that places where the people are live together in a particular houses. And so many definitions are given here regarding the human settlements. First of all, the human settlement and the human population live in settlements of different shape and size, including villages and the towns. The basic unit of the residence is the houses, which may be a small hut or a big mason apartment. It may be said that the human settlements may be very large, may be very small. Small means a group of the huts, a group of the cottages, and the large mean a group of the multi-story buildings. Next, dear students, human settlements means cluster of dwellings of any types of size where the human people are alive. Settlements may be very large and may be very small according to the size and shape. The range from a hamlet to the metropolitan cities with size, the economic character and the social structure of settlement changes, and so do its ecology and the technology. We can say that the shape and size of the settlements may be very different, and the science and technology also may be used in the different kind of the settlements. And small and the sparsely spaced settlements are called the villages, where people are mainly engaged in the agriculture and the other primary activities. In this way, we can say that the people where live in the different kinds of the houses, and houses are very sparsely means the between the houses there is a very huge space, and that may be the villages. And all of the village peoples are engaged in the primary types of activities. Larger settlements are known as the urban settlements. जो बड़ी बड़ी बस्तियां होती हैं उनको हम जो है नगरीय बस्तियां भी कहते हैं. Where people are engaged in the secondary or tertiary activities, size and the population is the concerned. Definitely, where the large size of the population, large size of the human settlements and the human buildings, and the mostly people are engaged in the secondary and the tertiary activities, that settlements, we can say that the urban settlements. It is therefore necessary to distinguish between rural and the urban settlements. So it is very necessary that we must be classified the settlements into the two categories. First is that the rural settlements, and second is that the urban settlements. Now here is also know that what do you mean by the rural settlements and what do you mean by the urban settlements. My dear students, there are give some features regarding the rural settlements and regarding the urban settlements. First is that people are mainly engaged in the agriculture and the primary activities in the rural settlements. Second, rural settlements supply food and other raw material to the people of urban settlements. Third, rural settlements depends on lands. Rural settlements depend on lands to carry out their primary economical activities, since each family need a family large area of crops, pastures of the forest land, villages and the normally of the small size. There can be rural settlements of single family called the hamleted. And the fourth, the rural people are less mobile and the social relationships are the very intimate the empty simple techniques to perform their activities and their pace of the life slow. So according to the rural settlements, there are some features about rural settlements. So you have already read. Now the urban settlements have also the features. There are some features. First is that the people mainly engaged in the secondary and the tertiary activities other than primary activities, because all the urban areas are the engaged. All the urban areas are the very famous for the other than primary activities. Approximately 75% activities are regarding the tertiary, quaternary, and the quaternary activities. And the cities provides goods and the services not only for themselves but also for the people of the rural countryside in return for the food and the raw materials. Definitely, urban and the rurals locations have a very close relationship. Urban take the different kind of the service and the facilities from the villages, like the vegetables, fruits, and the milk product. And after that, urban also provide the services, the transport, communications, the manufacturing industries, materials, and so many other types of the services, and provide to the rural areas. And the next, third, the urban settlements are much larger in size, with a few thousand of a few lakhs persons living in such settlement. We can say that in the urban areas, the population size is very large and thousands of persons in a limited area, and the density of population is also very high. According to the urban settlements, there may be 400 persons in per square kilometer area, and the present a compact look with closely spaced houses and streets without much open space. Much bigger cities with a population of over a millions called the metropolitans and the megapolitans. Definitely, in the urban areas, the streets are very close, and the cleanliness problem is also there, and a very highly populated and high density population area, and there may be a metropolitan cities and megapolitan cities we can include. And the last features of the urban population, urban settlements, life of urban people is complex and the fast is social relations are the formal and the institutionalized. Definitely, in the urban areas, there is a social relationship of the people between the people is very lack, and the commercialization is very high. Mostly people focus on the commercializations, and they are less focused on the social relations. So all these are the features of the rural settlements and the urban settlements. So, my dear students, there are some features regarding rural settlements and the urban settlements. And first of all, we will now we will discuss on the types of the rural settlements. According to the rural settlements, there are given the types of the rural settlements. First is that the compact settlements, second is that the scattered settlements and the dispersed settlements, third is the semi-clustered and the fragmental settlements, and the fourth is the hamleted settlements. So we will be discuss one by one here. First is that the compact settlements. First is that the compact settlements. Compact settlements, these settlements are found in the fertile area. The houses are built closely and the vicinity along narrow streets. Initially, a rural settlement may be begins as a small hamlet at a interactions of the two footpaths of the near water body. Definitely, compact settlements are very closely settlements, and the houses are built up very close, and the density of population also the 500 to the 100 persons per square kilometers, and the social relations are very high. And this kind of the settlements are found in the plain areas and the river valleys of the of the all over the world, and basically in our India, the North Great Plain of India is very famous for this kind of the compact settlements. Next, next is that the scattered settlements. Scattered settlements एंड और दैट इज़ डिस्पर्ट सेटलमेंट्स, इसको हिंदी में बोलते हैं विचलित बस्तियाँ, मतलब दूर दूर की बस्तियाँ जहाँ पर घर जो होते हैं वो बहुत दूर दूर होते हैं, ठीक है, जिसमें कि जो घर जो हैं वो एक दूसरे से सटे हुए नहीं होते हैं. द ग्रुप ऑफ द टू और मोर हाउसेज आर द सेपरेट फ्रॉम द अदर हाउसेज, so that's why the social relations are very less because of the separations and the distance between the houses. So like you can see here the scattered settlements, some settlements are located here, some settlements are located after some distance, so the streets are very wide, and the water flow system is also very smooth, and instead of the scattered and the dispersed settlements, you can see the compact settlements. According to the compact settlements, the houses are very close. Already we have discussed about this compact settlements. So dispersed settlements dispersed settlements. These settlements are formed of one or two dwelling units which are knit together a common bound by a cultural feature such as the church, a mosque, or a temple. Such settlements are found in sparsely populated areas. The size of fields is large, and the farmer constructs his houses in the wheat growing areas of the USA, Canada, and Australia. Basically, dispersed settlements are found in the desert area in Rajasthan and the hill areas also. Because of the topography, different types of the topography, the dispersed settlements are found there. Third is that the semi-clustered or fragmental settlements. Semi-clustered, these settlements may be result either from the agglomeration, the tendency in a restricted area of the dispersed settlements, or the consolidated the territorial basis. Such settlements may also be result from the segregations of such cases in section of the villages societies choose or it's forced to live a little away from the clusters or village. In these villages lives in the central place, while the people of the peripheral areas. Semi-cluster settlements are the widespread in India. Definitely, my dear students, we can say that according to the third settlement, semi-clustered or the fragmental settlements, we can say that this is the main village, and the outer boundary of this main village is known as the peripheral area. So, from the main village to and between the main village and the outer boundary area, this is the peripheral area, and the location of the houses in this area is known as the semi-clustered and the fragmental settlements. Fourth is that hamleted settlements. Fourth is that the hamleted settlements. Hamleted settlements means the settlements and the group of houses that comes from the main population of the village, and they are started to live in the some distance of the village. Suppose this is the main village and so many peoples, and the 4 and 5 houses of the populations are live to start here, and this village is start to be became a big village, and after that due to the crowdness, so many people comes from this village, and they are start to live in the outer side, and they in the form of that village boundary. So these types of villages and the group of the villages are known as the hamleted settlements, and this is known as the other name of of also the para, nangla, dhani, mohalla, etc. But this types of settlements, hamleted settlements, take the services from the main village, whereas they comes out. So, my dear students, all these four types of the rural settlements already we have discussed. I think you can understand betterly. So there is a clearly distinguish between the compact and the dispersed settlements here. You see the pictures, the compact settlements and the dispersed settlements, compact settlements and the dispersed settlements already you have. So after that, we are going to discuss about the topic, the classification of the towns on the basis of the historical time period. According to this time period, there are three types in the classification of towns. First is that the ancient towns. Ancient towns means before the historical time period. The ancient towns. According to this classification, we can classify the Indian towns in different categories. Ancient towns, there are at least 45 ancient towns in India which are over 2000 years old. Most of the ancient towns of India developed as religious as the cultural towns. Basically, in our India, according to the ancient towns, mostly towns are very famous for the cultural and the religious towns. For example, Varanasi is an outstanding example of such towns. The other ancient towns are Ayodhya, Prayag, today Allahabad, Patliputra, today Patna, Mathura, and the Madurai. These are the ancient towns in our India. You can see these pictures related to the ancient towns. All these pictures shows that these are taken from the religious towns like the Ayodhya, Mathura, and Agra also. Second types of towns is the medieval towns, मतलब मध्यकालिक नगर, जिनको हम कहते हैं मध्यकालिक नगर, medieval towns. There are about 100 towns in India which originated in the medieval period. Most of them developed as the headquarters of the principalities and the kingdom. Many of them are fort towns and came up on the rules of the earlier existing towns. Delhi, for example, Delhi, Hyderabad, Jaipur, Lucknow, Agra, and Nagpur are the important examples of the medieval towns. There are some pictures given. You can watch all the pictures regarding the medieval towns. Now next is that the modern towns. Modern towns means आधुनिक नगर. आधुनिक नगर किन्हें कहते हैं? These towns were developed by the British Empire and the other European colonies. The first developed some trading port like the Surat, Daman, Goa, Pondicherry, and later on the British developed three principal nodes, Mumbai, Chennai, and the Kolkata. They rapidly established their influencing in the other part of the country and set up administrative centers, hill towns as summer resort, and added new civil, administrative, and the military areas to the pre-existing town. Industrial towns such as Jamshedpur evolved after 1850. So all the modern towns related to the British Empire and other colonial powers for the establishment of their trades. So many foreigner powers and stables in our India, and they have started their business centers before 1850s. I think you are very understand about the types of the cities on the basis of the historical time period. Now next is that functional classifications of towns. My dear students, there is also a classification of towns, but here is a very different on the basis of the function, on the basis of their function. जिस भी शहर में जिस प्रकार के कार्य प्रमुखता से किए जाते हैं, उन शहरों को हम उन्हीं का नाम देते हैं. सपोज जिस शहर के अंदर, जिस सिटी के अंदर अगर धार्मिक कार्य ज़्यादा होते हैं, जैसे कुरुक्षेत्र है, या जो धर्म के आधार पर फेमस हैं जैसे अमृतसर है, या जो है वैष्णो देवी है, तो इस प्रकार अगर कोई शैक्षणिक एजुकेशनल एजुकेशन पर्पज़ के लिए अगर ज़्यादा फेमस है तो उसको हम एजुकेशन सिटी कहते हैं। जैसे आपका जो है अलग अलग शहरों में, अलग अलग सिटीज़ में अलग अलग शहर होते हैं जो एजुकेशन के लिए फेमस होते हैं। तो इसी प्रकार से देर आर गिवन सम क्लासिफिकेशन रिगार्डिंग द फंक्शनल क्लासिफिकेशन ऑफ टाउन्स। कई बार एग्जाम में पूछा जाता है कि क्लासिफिकेशन ऑफ टाउन्स ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ देयर फंक्शन, बट स्टूडेंट्स आर राइट द क्लासिफिकेशन of the towns on the basis of the historical time period. In that condition, this question may be wrong. So it is very necessary to classify the types of the towns, which types of towns on the basis of the function or on the basis of the historical time period. So this is very clear, the functional classification of towns. First is that according to the functional classification of the towns, this is the administrative towns. Basically, according to the administrative towns, all the headquarters and all the capitals of the states are included under this category. Like the Chandigarh, like the Gandhinagar, like the Dispur. It means that all the capitals of all the states are under these categories. This is the map, and this map shows that the main administrative towns in India and according to the state wise. So definitely we can see that Delhi is also the administrative towns of India. Ahmedabad is also the Gujarat, Surat, Mumbai, Pune, Hyderabad, Bengaluru. All these are the administrative towns of the different states. Next is that industrial towns. Industrial towns, basically those towns are very famous for the manufacturing activities and the secondary activities and the industrial activities that are known as the industrial town. Basically in our India, the Ahmedabad, Jamshedpur and Ludhiana, Coimbatore, Kanpur, Ghaziabad, Faridabad, and all these are the towns of the industrial towns. There are some examples and some pictures are given that shows the scenario of the industrial towns. This is, my dear students, this is the map that shows the industrial region in our India. Industrial region in our India. This is the Delhi Meerut industrial region, and this is the Ahmedabad, Gujarat, Pune region, and this is also all these black shading is known as shows the industrial city and the major industrial region in India. So next is that the transportation. The transport towns, basically those cities like the Kolkata, Delhi, Mumbai, and that are very famous for the transportation facilities that provide the better, smooth and the cheaper types of the transportation. That is known as the transport towns in our India, like the Mumbai, Kolkata, Chennai, Kolkata, Kochi, and the Kozhikodes, and Agra, Mumbai, all the metropolitan cities and the megapolitan cities and the biggest cities in our India that provide the smooth, fast and cheaper transport facilities that are known as also the transportation towns. Next is that this is the map that shows the facilities of the metro facilities and the different kind of the transport that shows that also this is shows the international boundaries and the metro and the under construction and the metro planning, whereas the metro train is also what is the scenario of the metro train in our India, and whereas the better facilities provided by the metro trains. Next is that commercial towns. Commercial towns are those towns that are very famous for the commerce, import and export facilities. Approximately, mostly cities like Kolkata, Delhi, Chennai, Bangalore. Bangalore's are very famous for our Indian trade. Approximately, लगभग 60 to 70% जो इंटरनेशनल ट्रेड है वो हमारा जो है इन 4 महानगरों से ही होता है. तो दैट आर द वेरी फेमस फॉर द कमर्शियल पर्पस. So all these are the examples. This is also the example. This is also the examples, and that example related to the commercial towns. And this is the map. Map is shows that the traditional relationship of all mega cities with the other cities. Next is that the mining towns. Mining towns are those towns that are very famous for the mining purpose. Mining purpose, it may be like the all types of the minerals are mined there. The Jharia, Raniganj, Singrauli, Bokaro, and Degboi and Ankleshwar also. All these are the example of the mining cities in our India. Definitely, this picture is so the mining process, open craft mining, and all these are the oil petroleums area. So definitely, all that region that is very famous for the mining activities that are known as the mining towns. That are known as the mining towns. Next is that the cantonment towns. Cantonment towns are very famous for the safety purpose. Safety purpose, whereas the cantonment area and the Kent area is there, that is known as the cantonment area. And the Ambala Kent, Jalandhar Kent, and the Meerut Kent, Firozpur Kent, Faridkot Kent, Babina Kent are the very famous examples for the cantonment towns. Next is that educational towns, my dear students, those towns are very famous for the educational activities and educational purpose. All that maybe the Roorkee, Varanasi, and the Aligarh, and so many other cities maybe are very famous for the national and the international level facilities. Next is that the urban. Next is that the religious and the cultural towns. Religious and the cultural towns are very famous for the religion purpose and the cultural purpose, like the Amritsar also, like Varanasi, like Ayodhya. All that are the very religious towns that are belong to the very near belong to the our god and goddess birth. So next is that as a tourist towns, tourist towns are those towns and that towns where are very that are very famous for the tourist activities. And so many people comes from the outer part of India to show the all the sites regarding the tourist. So definitely this picture show that the different types of the pictures belong to the different types of different areas. And in our India, this Indian map is shows that in our India so many historical and cultural and the natural site are very attractive for the human beings. So my dear students, this is enough for today. This is enough for today regarding the settlements, human settlements, types of the settlements, and types of the rural settlements, and the classification of the town on the historical basis, and the classification of the towns on the basis of their functions. At last, we will discuss also. At last, we will discuss also the urbanization and the suburbanization. Urbanization जैसा कि आप जानते हैं कि दिन प्रतिदिन जो है नगरों का विकास हो रहा है, इंडस्ट्रीज लगाई जा रही हैं। दिन प्रतिदिन जो है परिवहन के साधनों का विकास हो रहा है। डे बाय डे द ट्रांसपोर्ट एंड कम्युनिकेशन आर आल्सो डेवलप्ड, मैन्युफैक्चरिंग द इंडस्ट्रीज आर आल्सो डेवलप्ड, so that's why the urban area is increased, and urban area is increased. So according to this development and the increasing area of the urban is known as the urbanization. So many facilities also increased in the urban areas. When the urban areas is increased, when the urban areas is increased, so like this city is increased, and this is the urbanizations, and so many types of the facilities are also transport and communication, manufacturing, and the other types of the services also increased. So after that, a small city, when this small cities receive the different kind of the services from the biggest cities, from the nearby biggest cities. So this small cities also increased his urban area, and it may be the very famous and the very popular, and it also increased the different kind of the service sector facilities, manufacturing facilities, transport communication facilities. So this is the suburban area. जब किसी बड़े शहर के से लगने वाला, जब कुछ छोटे शहर भी जब उसके आसपास में जब विकसित हो जाते हैं, तो ये जो है suburban areas होते हैं. Like the Delhi is the main urban area, but the Najafgarh, Bhadurgarh, Bhavana, Narela, Gurgaon, and Faridabad, like all these region are also developed like the urban area. So all these are the suburban area, and after that all are maybe include in a urban area. After that some time period, it is very knowledgeable. So I think you know very well about the urbanization and suburbanization. So my dear students, I think it is enough for today, and your homework is also given here. You must be write down your questions and questions and answer in your fair notebook. All these are the questions regarding your topics. So I think this lesson may be very beneficial for you. I'm very thankful to you. So kindly watch this lesson and read this lesson, and you can take very beneficial from this chapter. So thank you. Have a nice day.